Welcome to episode 3 of Why We Love Sports. Now, this has been a very interesting week in the world of sports. We got some NBA news, baseball news, football news, a little bit of hockey news regarding the season. And after the show, I'm going to talk about baseball players that I think should be in the Hall of Fame. And I think my first player tonight will be the former Cleveland Indian, former Milwaukee Brewer, and former New York Yankee pitcher, C.C Sabitha, who, is definitely going to go in the Hall of Fame tonight. Not tonight, I mean in the next, in 4 more years, whenever he's eligible to be elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So, let's get down to big baseball news. Yesterday, breaking huge baseball news. For the first time in MLB history, baseball history, the long history of baseball, the MLB and the Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins, have named a new GM. But here's the thing. It's history. It's because the new GM, very well respected in the baseball world amongst her peers, and you heard that right. I said her. Yep, the first GM, first woman GM, hired by the Florida Miami Marlins. Derek Jeter and ownership hired the first female GM. Now, I didn't even know Florida was looking for a GM, to be honest. Miami was looking for a GM. I know the Angels were looking for a GM, but I did not know that the Miami Marlins were. And with their season, with tons of COVID cases early, and they had to scrap a team and miraculously make it to the playoffs. You can see why Don Mattingly won Coach of the Year, Manager of the Year this season, because it's a miracle how that team was able to make the playoffs. But this is life-changing. This is game-changing for the sport of baseball. We've seen women get higher management. We've seen women start in the professional sports start to get bigger roles in the front office. But this was the 100-year history of baseball, over 100-year history of baseball, the MLB. This is groundbreaking. And she worked in the majors for a long time, and so as I said, she's very well respected among the peers in baseball. She worked for different teams, clubs. I believe the Yankees were one of them for a short time, for 3 years, 1999 to 2002, I believe. She worked with the Dodgers. I'm not sure what other team she worked for. Apparently she was the one that helped negotiate some of the Yankees' contracts when she was working with the Yankees. 1999 to 2002, so who would that be? Maybe like a Rivera, I think, Herbert Rivera contract. Even a Derek Jeter contract then. Derek Jeter was very young then. Rivera was very young then. Probably need a long-term contracts then. And in other news of baseball, we got the Angels hired their manager after searching for their new general manager. Now the Angels, in the past, have been trying to compete with the past GMs, but we're not able to, right? They spend a lot of money, but they have arguably the best player in the majors, Mike Trout, who's only been to the playoffs once, and I think it was his rookie season in 2012, once in his whole entire career with the Angels, and that's 8 years ago. So, and they're trying to build him up. Obviously, you build around Trout. They got Pujols to help build around Trout. They tried JJ Upton. And they tried the pitching is the issue here. They try to build up the pitching, but the pitching has been the Achilles heel of this team. They got Simmons as a free agent. They signed Julio Teheran. They took a chance on Matt Harvey, and the Angels didn't have any success with the free agent signings or trades. And now you have a new GM who's been in my Blue Jays organization before moving on, and now with the Angels moving forward, they can move forward and try to compete. They have money. Anaheim Angels have money. They have the dough to spend money. It just hasn't been very successful. I expect them to be very active in the free agent market, like how the Mets are going to be very active in the free agent market. The new ownership, the new owner, Steve Cohen, is a huge Mets fan, and it's very clear that he intends to spend in this free agent market. And not a lot of teams are able to spend in this free agent market. I say the Mets, Blue Jays, Angels, Dodgers. I don't know. The Yankees are looking like they're going to cut some payroll. Yeah, you heard me. The Yankees are cutting payroll. Boston may be spending. It's based off this year, revenue this year. And they're hoping to have a 162 game season next season. And with the likelihood of the news of a vaccine possibly coming out, like for early in December for certain groups, and then by April or wherever, maybe April, May, and June, it's possible they can have a 162 game season. But the vaccine takes time to see it working in the community, right? Because once you get a vaccine, it's not going to work right away. It has to build up in your immune system, and it could take a week or two for it to build up in your immune system. And the thing is, yeah, you may have the vaccine build up in you, but it has to be a community thing. Other people have to get the vaccine too, and that's how you get through this pandemic, and this is how we're gonna get through sports in the next future, in the future, because we'll never have fully big capacity until this pandemic is gone. By seeing cases drop, not by social distancing and masks will help, but the vaccine is going to be the ultimate thing that's going to end the pandemic. And the doctors are working on this, the scientists, like Dr. Fauci, whether you believe him or not, he's very optimistic. Especially his optimism went way high this week with the Pfizer news. And he's hired his Moderna, possibly having the same result. And who knows what other vaccine companies say. You got Oxford, J&J, whoever. So it's like we're gonna start vaccinating. I don't know what, I know in the U.S. probably in December. I heard what the Trump and the current coronavirus vaccine said. It's possible I can see that, but I think it's Trump, and majority of people don't agree with Trump, don't like him. But I can see what a vaccine could. They can start. Like Fauci says, he could start. They're probably gonna start vaccinating people in December, and then for certain groups, and then January, February, March, other groups will get it, and in April, the general public, like between April, May, and June, the public will get it. So what I'm thinking here is, it's possible maybe I don't know about July, August, but August, September, we can have. I don't know about full capacity, but fans. A lot of fans back in the arena, in the stadium in baseball, arenas for NBA, hockey, football stadiums. It's possible, and with this and Ticketmaster. Have you heard about Ticketmaster? I don't know if it's true or not. But apparently, once the pandemic ends, we're working on a third-party app where if you buy tickets to a certain concert, sporting event, you have to prove through this app that you've been vaccinated. Yeah, I'm serious. Prove that to be vaccinated. Look it up, guys. Prove it is vaccinated, and to prove it, it'll be 2 or 3 days before the event, and it'll see the doctors. They won't have your private your health information. They just know, yeah, this guy's been vaccinated. He's allowed in. So if I buy a ticket and this event, in the sporting event concert is in a week, I have to prove in 2 or 3 days that I've been vaccinated to let me in, for them to let me into the event and the event. Watch whatever, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, soccer, whatever, concerts, Taylor Swift, whatever, right? And now my question is, if Ticketmaster is thinking of doing that, obviously there's other sites that you could buy tickets from. I'm not talking about seller sites like StubHub. I'll get to that later. But other sites, like sometimes not everything you could buy tickets is through Ticketmaster, right? And I wonder if they're going to follow the same path as Ticketmaster. If this is true, if Ticketmaster's going to go through this, I see other ticket sites like for example, when I went to see NXT in Toronto 3 years ago, I didn't buy NXT tickets through Ticketmaster. I bought it through it was in Mahanomy Athletic Center. It's old Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto where the Leafs used to play. You have to go through Mahanomy Athletic Center's website to buy the tickets. So I wonder if they're going to do something for like that. If that's what's going to happen, if they're going to follow the same path as Ticketmaster, like where you could buy tickets, not just a Ticketmaster, but now for seller sites like StubHub, SeatGeek. Now, people, you know how that works, right? People put tickets up for sale, and another person will buy them, right? Now, if this vaccination, if somebody this thing with Ticketmaster, the arenas, the arenas, the concert, you have to prove your vaccine. How's that going to work for StubHub, SeatGeek? Are they going to make a third-party app to prove that? Because the people on StubHub, people buy a ticket on the exact same day as the concert or the sporting event happens. It's happened. I haven't done it, but I've talked to people who've done it before, and people have. So I wonder how that's going to work. I wonder if they're going to have to do something like that if this happens. But that's the world we're going to live in the future. We're going to live in. We're going to have to prove it. I guarantee it's going to happen in airports. You're going to have to prove it that you're vaccinated. And you know, going into certain countries, you have to take certain vaccines to get into certain countries because certain diseases in certain countries are not rampant here, or not rampant in Canada, U.S., or don't even exist here. Don't even exist here. But if you go to a certain country that has a certain disease, that has a vaccine for it, they recommend you to travel to a certain country to get vaccinated. For example, now they have the Ebola vaccine, right? So if you go to certain areas in Africa where Ebola is, in Canada, they're going to suggest you get vaccinated. In the U.S., they suggest you to get vaccinated before you go over to that country. That's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's what's happening. It already happens. They tell you to get vaccinated to go to certain countries because of certain diseases, and I can see that happening for COVID. Because this is a pandemic and it's a serious disease. Yeah, a vaccination is to keep you safe, but it's also to keep society and the community safe. That's what vaccines do. It's for the overall society, not just you, society. Because you don't want something, this is grim, you don't want something like the plague to happen. That happened, 700-800 years ago? You know what it did? There was no vaccination, there was no treatment. You know what it did? It almost wiped out, it could have wiped out the whole human population. That plague, that pandemic lasted 7 years. And it still exists. And there's a vaccine for it, but if you catch it early, you could treat it. It's treatable. But 700, 800 years ago, that was the most deadliest plague in history. More deadlier than the Spanish flu. it was a massive plague, and you know, and you know how that plague ended? You know how plague? Death. Pandemics end naturally when there's death, and a lot of people get it, but vaccines just help. Just help people fast, help people, and help society get out of the pandemic faster. The natural infection, because the natural infection, yeah, most majority of people will survive, but people are dying, and the way the pandemic will end, if it's by naturally, is by having enough people for the plague, for the virus to infect, to kill, to a certain point where there's not enough people to spread it. And we don't want that, because this virus, it's going to become like the flu. But on to other things. I'm sorry about talking about the virus, but it's very important. But we're getting good news on the vaccine. Looks like we're going to get the vaccine sometime in December. And then next year, early part of next year, first quarter, that's when we're in December, concluding. That's when we're going to see people getting the vaccine. Health workers, homes, and essential workers, schools, whatever, teachers get vaccinated. And then in the spring, maybe even before, we're going to see the general public get vaccinated. And the Prime Minister here in Canada said he's encouraged by the news, and he's hoping early first quarter, January, February, March, that we'll get the vaccine in Canada. And Canada is only 37 million people compared to America with this over 330 million Americans. So, yeah, you do the math. Now let's get to some basketball news. Now, we're going to have NBA season. The draft is this Wednesday, coming up Wednesday, right? Minnesota has the first overall pick. Timberwolves have the first overall pick. But we got some interesting news, like rumors out there. Trade rumors, players wanting out. Let's start with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook of the Houston Rockets. Now, speculation and rumors are out there that he wants to be traded. He wants out of Houston. Why am I not surprised? It seems like a lot of players don't like playing with James Harden. I don't know why, but it just seems that way. But this is huge because Russell Westbrook, remember, he got traded last year before the season started to the from Oklahoma Thunder. Russell Westbrook, Oklahoma Thunder trade Russell Westbrook to the Houston Rockets. That deal included Chris Paul, which I'll get to later. All right, and I forget who else to complement Harden. Now, the thing is, Westbrook is the same kind of player that it's the same kind of player like Harden. Except he's more. I say he's a little bit more athletic, but Westbrook is. I think he's so high energy. He gets himself tired. That's why you don't see him do well at the end of the games because he's so tired of doing stuff well. But you could tell in Oklahoma when Durant left and Harden left, he was the guy. He was the guy that tried to do everything, and it took so much out of him. That's why he wasn't. Yeah, he scored points. He got triple doubles, but he wasn't efficient. Same with Harden. Harden's not efficient either. And they both needed ball handlers. They're both ball handlers. But there's obviously something wrong. Maybe it's a new coaching change in Oklahoma. I don't know. But you could tell there was something wrong in Oklahoma and Houston. with Westbrook. Now he signed his long-term contract, right? I don't know how many years what the term is, but I think it's a lot. It's a long-term contract. It's a lot of money. I think it's in the 40 million range per season. 40 to 45 million range per season. And now he wants out. So let's look at the teams. Now, you think they're gonna trade him to another Western team? I doubt it. I don't think Westbrook. I wonder if he suggested a bunch of teams. Like, you know how NBA players are. They have huge egos. They kind of like dictate where they want to go now, right? Even if it's under contract. If they're not free agents, but under contract, they kind of have a huge ego. They kind of always in charge. That's the problem in the NBA. Players have too much of a ego and too much of in charge. So let's look at the teams. I think they're going to trade him to the East. I guess speculation is Charlotte might be interested in him. The Hornets. I don't know if they could give up maybe Terry Rozier. You know, if they could give up some players' of salary to match the salary of Westbrook, like Terry Rozier. I don't know who else they have. Terry Rozier. Who else? Not broken because of Irving and Durant. And I don't think those two work well together, and I don't think these two will work well together. Let's see. The team is willing to take a team to the next level. Brooklyn, no. Knicks. I think the Knicks need star power, and you definitely make that team much better. But do they have the assets? They have to trade a first rounder for sure. But do they have the money and the assets to go after Westbrook? Will Westbrook want to go to the Knicks? That's the question. Because the Knicks, although not the Knicks, dumpster fire of a franchise. Atlanta? Oh, him and Trae Young? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if that'll work. Philadelphia? Who would Philadelphia to give up? Ben Simmons, possibly? Because Ben Simmons is a ball handler and he can't shoot, right? He doesn't shoot threes and everything like that. Would they want Ben Simmons in the deal? I don't think Boston would go after him unless I don't think it'd be a good fit there. I don't know, there's this rumor that Kemba Walker, I don't know. I like Kemba Walker. Yeah, he's not the greatest defensive, but he was a better fit for Boston than Kyrie Irving was. So I see him going to the East. I don't see him going to Toronto. Chicago, maybe? I don't know. Any team is looking to take the next step because he has a long-term contract. Now, back to Chris Paul. So there's reports that that the Phoenix Suns and the Houston Rockets are talking, not Houston Rockets, sorry. Oklahoma Thunder are talking trade for Chris Paul. And Chris Paul's like 35, 36 years old. So I don't know why the Phoenix Suns are interested, unless they're thinking of taking the next step. I think they're close to a playoff team, and they might be a playoff team next season. They're the young team with Devin Booker and Aiden. Solid young team. And they did well in the summer, not the summer, the restart. And Chris Paul will help them a lot, leadership, defensively. But who would they want? Apparently it was Kelly Oubre, first rounder, and Ricky Rubio. Oh yeah, they have Ricky Rubio. See, Ricky Rubio is a solid point guard, but he's not Chris Paul elite-like. But he'd be a solid point guard for Oklahoma. And Oklahoma, you could clearly tell they're going to build around Shai Alexander. He really took the next step this past season. But if I was Oklahoma, I would do this deal because we don't know how long Chris Paul has left in the league, and he's injury prone. Every time you get to the playoffs, he gets hurt. Now there's so let's get to Victor Oladipo of the Indiana Pacers, right? So there's speculation that he went out of Indiana, and he apparently during the season he was telling players and other teams in front of his teammates that can I play here, like Miami, New York, whatever, right? So if this is true, I don't want that player on my team because that's a lack of leadership and commitment and loyalty. I don't like those kind of players. Yeah, okay, if you want out, okay, but if you do it during games and in front of your teammates, in front of your coaches, it tells me something. But apparently, I don't know. Apparently, it's not true. And apparently, he said yesterday No. I want to stay in Indiana. So I don't know. He said it's not true. I don't know. Now it's gonna be some hockey news. Okay. So this is gonna be short. Hockey news. So the NHL had their meetings, board of government meetings with the player, also with the players, discussing their future plans. So January 1st is looking most likely like start date. There's nothing official, nothing confirmed, but with marginalized bubbles, like not like a full bubble like they had for playoffs, but like a 2 week bubble and then they have a week off and they go to another bubble, something like that. So and they want to play in their arenas like the NBA. They don't want to have they want to play in their home arenas or whatever arenas. Like the NBA wants to have fans. Like Golden State wants to have 50,000 fans. The owner does, but it's willing to have rapid tests. And it's willing to pay for it. But I don't think NBA has that. I think in the NHL, obviously they want fans, but so with the Toronto Maple Leafs, my team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, it looks like most likely they're going to have an all Canadian division with all 7 Canadian teams in one division. I don't know where to play. I don't think they should play in Toronto because Toronto's not safe right now. Like because our cases are going up. Ontario's cases are going up. So maybe having if they're willing, maybe have it in province that doesn't have a high rate of cases. Because in Canada, we have rinks that can hold 20,000, not just NHL rinks. We have rinks that can hold fans that much. I mean, they're not gonna have fans, but they're big enough arenas. Big enough arenas where they can have look like an NHL arena. Maybe in London. I don't know. And so we have all Canadian. It looks like we have all Canadian divisions. There's Toronto Maple Leafs, Ottawa Senators, Montreal Canadiens from the east, from the west, Winnipeg Jets, Calgary Flames, the Vancouver Canucks, and Edmonton Oilers. All 7 Canadian teams in one division. Now, this is exciting, man. Let's look at the matchups. Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, Leon Draisaitl, Patrick Laine, Mark Scheifele, Tony Gaudreau, Carey Price, Sean Monahan, Elias Pearson, Brock Besser. Just look at Quinn Hughes. Just look at that. If you're a hockey fan, especially in those Canadian markets, they're screaming at you. This is what we want. This is really exciting. And I don't know what they're going to do with the American teams. I assume they're going to have an East bubble, like New York, Boston, New Jersey, Buffalo, something like that in the West bubble. More like a division like. Tampa Bay and Florida, I don't know what it's going to do with them. We'll see in a couple of weeks. They have January 1st to start. I bet you the next couple of weeks we'll get more an idea of what they're going to do with the NHL season in terms of divisions. I just wonder, even if they're going to have the all Canadian division, how is it going to work with the standings in the playoffs? Because that's a telling thing, right? How will these divisions determine the playoffs and standings? But, like, if Toronto's an all Canadian division, if Toronto wins the all Canadian division, are they going to be one of the top seeds in the East? You know what I mean? I don't know, but I love the idea, all Canadian division, to see those players, star players. We're also going to discuss. Oh yeah, NFL predictions. Let me get my phone to see the NFL games this week. Sunday. I'll be right back. Okay. Back on my phone. So okay. So NFL Sunday. We got Bills and Cardinals. Buffalo Bills and the Arizona Cardinals. Um, in Arizona, I'm going to Cardinals to win. I know I'm surprisingly going to Cardinals to win, even though the Bills are good. I can see the Bills winning too. 49ers, New Orleans. I got New Orleans to win. San Francisco's banged up. I think they're done this season. What else is there? Um, Buccaneers and Panthers. I want to go with the Panthers to upset the Buccaneers. Yeah, you heard here, folks. Now, Houston Texans, Cleveland Browns. I got Cleveland winning here. Now, Washington football team versus Detroit Lions. I got Detroit to win. The Lions to win. Jacksonville Jaguars at Green Bay Packers. Obviously, Green Bay is going to win this game. Philadelphia Eagles and New York Giants. I'm going to go with Philadelphia Eagles to beat the New York Giants in that crappy division, NFC East. Denver Broncos and Las Vegas Raiders. I got the Las Vegas Raiders to win here. Chargers at Miami. Um, Actually, this game going either way. I'm gonna go with the Miami Dolphins to win here at home. Cincinnati Bengals and Pittsburgh. Yeah. As much as Joe Burrows, and I think he is going to be a really good quarterback for Cincinnati. I'm going with Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to stay undefeated. The Rams and Seahawks. Now this is a good game. Now Russell Wilson did not have a good game last week against the Bills. That was his worst game of the season. I think he'll have a bounce back game, but that defense of Seattle is going to have him down. I'm going to go with the Seattle win here, but just barely because of that defense. Now the Ravens and Patriots. Yeah, I got the Ravens to win here to beat the Patriots. Now let's check the Monday night game. Monday night game, Vikings and Bears. Now, I can see this game going either way. I'm gonna take the Vikings to win here in Chicago. So those are my NFL predictions. Remember, it's week 10 also. It's week 10 in the NFL. So NFL season has 7 more weeks. Could they survive 7 more weeks? That's the question. Oh yeah, and they also may have week 18 just in case because of playoff formatting. Now I'm gonna get back to some baseball. Okay, I forgot to report this. So two players accepted a qualifying offer of $18.6 million, and they are Marcus Stroman of the Mets and Kevin Gossman of the San Francisco Giants, both returning to their respective teams for 1 more year. Because I wouldn't think they'll get that. I wouldn't think they'll get that average salary per season and a free agent market. So I think it was smart of them to take the qualifying offer. And the other players who had the qualifying offer declined. So whoever signs those players have to give up a second round draft pick. It used to be a first rounder, but they changed that a couple years ago. Now it's a second rounder. So Marcus Stroman's going back to the Mets. He didn't pitch all year. He opted out. Kevin Gossman had a solid 2020 season, even though it's like half the season. No, actually a little bit half the season. But he was solid. Good returns for the teams. Only 1 year. Only 1 year. This can help establish them in the next free agent market. And what happens is they cannot offer him a qualifying offer next season. Once you get qualified and they resign next season, you can't offer him a qualifying offer. And apparently the Blue Jays, when Sonny Welby was talking, the GM Moss Atkins, my Blue Jays team, they were very close to the deal, and unfortunately it didn't happen. This is before Welby Ray re-signed with them last week. So the speculation it was Kevin Gossman. That's just speculation, but we don't know for sure. But if they sign Kevin Gossman, they have to give up a second round pick, and I wouldn't sign Kevin Gossman give up a second round pick for Kevin Gossman. Solid pitcher, but he's not worth the second round pick. Now, be right back. I'll be right back. Go. Okay, I'm back. As you can see. Now, other baseball news. Let's check my phone if there's any news today. Let's check. Oh, there's something about Wonder Woman news. That's not sports. That's what's my camera doing? Come on. Okay, my camera's back. Let's check. We got golf. Masters is going on. Oh yeah, we got DeMar DeRozan trade rumors. Looks like San Antonio's going to trade DeMar DeRozan. Possibly the Lakers going after DeMar DeRozan. He's from LA. He's a Laker fan. He says here he always want. He's glad to be always wanted. So DeRozan in LA. Let's get back to that. Lakers. Um, the rumor is Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green. Like Danny Green, yeah, I would give up Danny Green. The Kyle Kuzma has a range, and DeRozan as well is a solid player. He doesn't have the range of a Kyle Kuzma. Can't shoot threes. But if DeRozan is willing to come off the bench as a scorer, a sixth man, I love it because LeBron needs shooters, and LeBron when he passes out the ball and in the corner, that's not DeRozan's game. DeRozan's a slasher type player. Goes to the rim and shoots twos. That's the type of player he is. He's old school. And Steelers got Ben Roethlisberger off the reserve COVID list, so it looks like he's gonna start tomorrow. Okay. This anybody see that? Seen a giant alligator video? The alligator was on steroids. Yeah, find it. Let me look it up for you guys. I want you guys to see this.
They're calling this beast Godzilla.
Have you guys seen this?
Calling this beast Godzilla.
Let's see this video. Just give me a minute.
Godzilla.
Have you guys seen this? A giant gator. Look at this. It almost looks like a joke.
Lots of people on social media
It's Godzilla.
assumed the video was a fake, but it's not. Can
Wow.
you imagine coming face to face with this creature?
Jesus Christ. That's huge. That probably has to be killed, man. I think in some states, certain alligators are not allowed to be at certain sizes. So that probably has to be put down.
At the Valencia
We
Country.
don't want that to happen, but probably it does. I mean, sadly it does. Now let's get back to sports. That was a huge thing, wasn't it? Huge alligator. Okay. Okay, let's okay. Before we get there, so you got awards. So Don Mattingly, National League Manager of the Year. Kevin Cash, American League Manager of the Year winner. Okay, MVP, Jose Abreu of the White Sox. Who was MVP of the Jose Abreu is their MVP from the White Sox in the American League. Was it Betts National League? Was it Betts? Who was it? No, Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves was the MVP. Yeah, that's right. They both have great years and deserving MVP. I agree. A Cy Young, Ohio sweeps. Shane Bieber from Cleveland wins MVP, not in the American League Cy Young. And from the National League, Trevor Bauer of the Cincinnati Reds wins the National League Cy Young Award. And Shane Bieber deserves it over Ryu in a Kenta Maeda or whatever. And Trevor Bauer, I was going to go with Jacob deGrom, but I saw Bauer's numbers. He was better than deGrom. So Bauer deserves it, and it's gonna just up his price in the free agent market. I don't think he's going back to Cincinnati because I don't think Cincinnati's going to pay him maybe for 1 year, but I don't know about 2 or 3 years. They're going to pay him the 25 to 30s, maybe even higher than $30 million a year. So I think he's leaving Cincinnati. Any team would be lucky to have top of the rotation starter. You just got to put up with this mouth because he does like to talk. You know him, and he likes to tweet. And then his Twitter handle. Let's see if we can find it. Here's Trevor Bauer. Obviously, see my handle is a haunting of every manor in honor of Blind Manor. So here's Trevor Bauer. His bio. NL Cy Young winner and MLB pitcher, All-Star pitcher for the Reds, formerly Indians and D-backs, co-founder of Watch Momentum. Okay, see, so he puts it all in his bio. Very interesting, huh? Very, very interesting. Okay, let's talk about my man. Does he have a Twitter? Okay. Here, my man C.C. Sabitha, Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, C.C. Sabitha. Now, you know he retired after the 2019 season. Okay, here's great website for baseball, but there's also hockey, see football, whatever. Reference, baseball reference, has all the numbers, stats, everything, his whole career. So, C.C. Sabitha. Why is he a Hall of Famer, in my opinion? Well, numbers speak for itself. Let's see. Yeah, doesn't have 300 wins, but 3.74 ERA, over 3,000 strikeouts. I guess you're in the Hall of Fame. Complete games, which is rarely these days. He has complete games. He had 10 in 2008. Pretty impressive. So, I have a story to tell you, and also a story to tell you. So I saw C.C. Sabitha pitch for the Cleveland Indians in his rookie year, 2021, when he won 17 games. So he didn't. The game I went to was against the Yankees. He didn't win that game. The Yankees actually won that game. But my father sister lives in Cleveland. Was married in Cleveland. Tragically, she passed away. My aunt passed away. Right. So her and her husband took me to a Cleveland Indians game back in 2001. This is when the Cleveland Indians were really, really good. He took me to a Cleveland Indian game. And that's when I saw C.C. Sabitha pitch ever. First time and the only time I seen him pitch with the Cleveland Indians rookie year against the Yankees. But as I said, C.C. Sabitha did not win that game, but he did have one hell of a career. Look at this 2008 season. Look at this. Look what he was in Cleveland for half the year. He got traded to Milwaukee. So Milwaukee was on the run, 11-2. With Milwaukee, 1.65 ERA, 3 shutouts, 7 complete games, 130 innings, 106 hits. Look at that. Look at that numbers. Those numbers are elite. Yes, half the season, but that's when they got traded to Milwaukee. Milwaukee, he helped them get to the playoffs that season. I know that. But that's freaking elite. And let's see. Went to the Yankees in 2009. Right, he's in Cleveland and Cleveland had some good years. Look at that. 2007, 19-7, 3.31 ERA, 241 innings pitched. He got traded to Milwaukee in 2008 season, as I mentioned. Then he signed in 2009 with the Yankees. Everybody thought he was going to California. Look at 19-8, 21-7, 19-8, 15-6. And then he did get older. After his 31 year age season, those are not Hall of Fame numbers, but the years before the Hall of Fame, he did struggle with weight and injuries as he got older. He wasn't able to throw as fast. He became more of a control type pitcher. Once he figured out to become a control pitcher, he was still pretty solid. Look at that. 2017, 14-5. 2018, 9-7. Still solid ERA. In 2019, his last season, 4.59 ERA. So 251 wins, 161 losses. His career, 60 winning percentage, 374 career ERA. 3,577.1 innings pitched. Okay. 3,000 strikeouts, 3,093 strikeouts to 1,099 walks. Yeah, so he may not have gone to the 300 market wins, but with the way pitchers are being used these days, who the hell's going to get there, right? So, my case of C.C Sabitha, is he a Hall of Famer? No question about it. You could debate me otherwise, but the proof is in the pudding. He's a Hall of Famer. All right. Let's remove it. All right, he's a Hall of Famer. All right, so that's my stream for the day. So before I go, I'm gonna stream. So I got NBA 2K21 for the PS5, right? So I'm gonna do. I already started up with GM mode for the WNBA and NBA Raptors and New York Liberty. New York Liberty because of Kia Nurse. She's Canadian and I'm Canadian, right? So I did it for Kia Nurse. So Canadian. And they have the best player from Oregon, arguably the best player in college history from Oregon. She set all his records. And started career mode, the long whatever it's called. So I'm gonna stream some NBA 2K21 later. So come watch me play that on the PS5. And I got also Xbox Series X, but I got Assassin's Creed for that, Valhalla for that console. And that'll be a little bit later today. So after watching this, comment below whatever you think about the sports stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. Or good evening wherever you're, or good morning if you're in the rest in the wherever you are in the world. Just have a good day overall. Thank you.